Alright guys, we've got our controller connected. We've checked and gone through and used our Arduino IDE, and we're going to go through and show you those steps in another video to be able to actually test the inputs and see how they read so that we can work out what those controls need to be when we go to testing it all. But I've got my switch in place, I've got my L293D. I want to be able to start checking through to see what I need to wire up. The first things I'm going to start with are probably going to be my power. So I'm going to hook this guy up and then I'm going to wire up so I'll be able to get power and ground through to my Nano along with my integrated circuit. So I'm going to start, I've got my battery pack sitting over here. We can get some better connections later, but at the moment I'm just going to get him in so that we can see where he's connected. So I'm going to have the ground going on that side, and I'm going to get the power, if I can, on that center pin on that side. So he's going to, if history shows me anything, he's going to keep jumping out, but we'll try and keep him in place so that as we go through we can see where it is. So at the moment I've got that switch set up so that he's going to be my main kill switch or power switch. So let's start adding in some connections from here. So the next thing I need to be able to do is I want to get this guy through to a main rail. So I'm going to grab my little jumper solid core wires and I'm going to bring that through from one side. So he wants to go on the outside pin and connect on over there. So now when he flicks the way he is now, that's going to turn on the power going through that side, assuming my circuit is completed. Flick him across, he's going to be turned off once I get everything else connected. So the power going through to my Arduino needs to go through the voltage in, so the VIN pin. So let's connect that guy now. So VIN into that one, pushes him through, and that's looking good. So next step I want to be able to do is I need to be able to get some power over to the other rail. So right now I've got my 7.2 that's going to be going through this side. I want to be able to add in the power to the other side. So I'm going to use my 5 volt pin on this side and send it over here. So I'm going to drop that there, throw that in, and then that gives me my power over to the other side. And we might try and keep him a little bit out of the way of some of the other things, and we'll see how that goes. But I've now got power going through to that rail, so I'll have 5 volts on that rail, 7.2 coming directly from the battery on this side. So that's looking good. What I want to do next is I'm going to add my power that needs to go through to my integrated circuit. So if you notice on the circuit, we've got that little dimple and the little sort of cutout on this end. That signifies, so this is the first pin. So we're going to be counting through from this way through there. So if you have a look at any of the schematic drawings for a L293D, it goes from pin 1, which is going to be the enable 1 for motor 1, all the way through to our power over here. So the first pin I'm going to start doing is actually going to be the power for the motor, which is this end over here. So I'm not going to go through what each of those pins are at the moment, but I'm going to drop these on now. So I want power coming from this rail. So I'm going to drop him in there. That's good. And then the power for the actual integrated circuit itself is going to come from over on this side. So let's drop that one into that rail. So now that's looking good. I've got power going through my circuit, but at the moment it's not going to be a complete circuit because I don't have my grounds connected. So let's get those hooked up as well. So I've got my power coming in through here. I've got that ground connected. So let's get our power in onto this side. So I've got the G and D pin there. He is going to go through there to the ground rail over here. So connect him up. Now I've got the ground connected through to here, so he is looking good. I'm going to connect this rail as well in case I need that as well. So I'm going to grab, again, I have a G and D just next to my VIN over here. So I'm going to connect him up. So that's now wired up to that ground pin over there. All right, so from there, we're going to start adding in my grounds for my integrated circuit. And so they're the two center ones on each side. And the reason we have two on each side is so that it will enable a bit more heat dissipation out of the circuit. So he's going to go there. And then I've got my other little one. Let's hook him up in between those two as well. So those two grounds are now connected. And let's do the same thing for the other side. So ground, I'm going to connect through to that rail. And then repeat for the next one. So now I have all of my grounds connected. I've got all of my power connected going through for both my integrated circuit and my Arduino and my controller. So that is my first big step. What I want to start doing now is adding in some of the other signal pins. So I'm going to start by adding my enable pins first. So the enable pin for motor 1, which is going to be on this side, is the very first, that pin 1 here. An enable pin for the other side is pin 9, which is the first one on the other side. So remember the numbers go around this way. So I'm going to start by adding a pin to go through. So I'm going to be using D3 for this one. So I'm going to drop him in there, bring him across. I'm going to drop him on that one there. So let's get that connected in. So now I've got, let's straighten him up a little bit, see if I can get him all the way in. So that's my first enable pin. And because I've got them connected to each other, let's see if I can, I'm just going to shorten those legs and see if I can get them in a little bit better so I have less visible. As the more wire we have exposed, the more chance of potentially a short circuit or cross signal somewhere. So we want to try and make sure we keep as much of it sort of clean as we can. So that, let's go, D3 is there, which I'm using already. So let's go D6 because I've got that pin there, so I won't use D3. Let's go D6. And I'm going to go through then to this pin here because of the length of my wire. So he's there around the corner, D6, happy days, he's locked in. All right, so the next thing I want to be able to do is I'm going to link both of those together. So I'm going to bring this guy over the top and that guy through to there. So then that allows me to have the same signal going both of my enable pins. And the reason I picked 6 is it is a PWM pin. So that allows me to have the variable speed if I've got the input coming through from my potentiometer. So that one's good. The next one along is going to be my in 1. So that's going to be my first pin. I'm going to use this white wire. So that's going to be D4 and D5 are going to be my in pins on this side. So I'm going to drop him on push him in. That's looking good. That next one along is going to be a motor out, so that first motor pin on that side, and then I'm going to drop in my next motor pin across here, so that's out 2, and then in 2 is going to be the signal, which is going to pin 5 over here. So let's push that in nice and cleanly. So if you can get your hands on a pair of the needle nose pliers in the classroom, that will make your life a little bit easier when it comes to trying to place these wires. But we've got those in place. That's looking not too bad. Okay, and then that side is complete. So I've got my 2 in and out, my in and out for 1 and in and out for 2. So if I have a high signal going through one of those and a low signal on the others, that will allow my DC motor connected through here to run. If I then reverse it and have the high going through this side and the low on this side, then that will then reverse the direction of it. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side and keep building this through. So I'm going to be using pin 7 and pin 8 for these next 2. So there's my first enable pin on that side, and I'm going to then have my out 3 for the motor 2, and then I'm going to have my last one here, which is going to go to pin 8 over here, and then go into the pin next to our power with the out 4, the last one over there. So now I have my wiring complete. I'm able to start doing some testing to make sure that my circuits are right. The key things to ensure before I start going too far and powering it up is making sure that my grounds and my power isn't crossed over anywhere. So the negative rail across here has only grounds coming to it, and the power rail only has power. Same deal on this side. Make sure that we've only got grounds going through on the one side and the powers on the other. That's the quickest way to be able to short circuit your Arduino. All right, well done.